Now an organizer. I'm live? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Oh, okay. How do we know how many are on?
25, whatever that number.
This?
One minute. Probably 25 to 30 people.
Okay. Okay, good morning. We are going to start in 30 seconds. Hold on 1 second. Can you just check with somebody that's on, make sure they can hear me and everything else?
I'll check with Brian.
You'll check with Brian, and then come right back, and then I'll start once you come back. Okay, we're going to start in a few seconds. We're going to talk about the custom grate product service that we offer and also the shift and lift carrier product. So just give us a few seconds. We're just doing a sound check here at MyFab to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. I hope that everybody is enjoying their Friday and will have a relaxing weekend. Okay, we're going to start. The first thing we're going to talk about is the new custom grate product service that we're offering. Everyone should be able to see on their screen a picture of a round grate and a square grate. We were recently at the National Association of Parts Suppliers and Distributors Conference in Chicago. Mainly smaller wholesalers. There were about 25 there, and it was unanimous from all of them that if we could provide a custom grate or cover solution, they would really support it because they find it's a hassle getting a replacement cover and grate. And on occasion, we've had calls in the past here where people call up and say, I have a grate, I have a cover, don't know the brand, or maybe they do, they're looking for something exactly to replace what they have. So we've come up with this, and if you don't have this, send me an email after and I'll email it to you. What you're looking at now is a picture on the left of a round grate and a picture on the right of a square grate. So there are 4 things that we need to know, and the 4 things that we need to know are detailed in this custom grate order guide. And there they are right there. Number 1, what is the overall diameter of the grate and or the cover? Not of the shank, not the collar, but the grate or the cover only. So it's 4 7/8 round, it's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 or whatever it is. And then what is the dimension between the bolt holes? And you can see in this detail here on the left, we're looking for the dimension between the 2 holes so that we can get that correct. On the square, we're asking for that as well there and there. The third thing is, what is the diameter of the bolt holes? How big are these holes? We want to make sure that we make them the right size so that when screws go in, they'll go in flush. And the last thing we need to know is what is the thickness of the edge of the grate or cover so that when we ship them the new cut grate or cover, it'll fit into the recess that is there now. And we show that detail on that other sheet. Look at the bottom right corner or the bottom left corner. You can see how we have that thickness edge detailed. So with those four things, once we know those four things, it would go to your CSR. The CSRs have been trained on this. They will then get with engineering and a drawing will be made. The drawing will be sent to you then, and we'll ask you to have the customer sign off on the custom drawing, and then we'll manufacture the drawing to those dimensions. Also, on this order guide are the prices and some notes. Okay. We're only making these replacement grates and covers in stainless steel. We're not doing nickel bronze or steel or iron, only in stainless steel. So regardless of the strainer that they have, if they have a nickel bronze drain or a ductile iron or cast iron drain, the only grate that we can make that's going to go in to replace is a stainless steel grate and or cover. The pricing we have here is net. So we're at $100 net each piece up to 8-inch round or 8x8 square. That's 1/4 inch thick. So we can cut the stainless 1/4 inch thick or less. We could do a 1/2 inch thick. If somebody says, well, you know, the ledge I have for the grate or cover to sit into is a 1/2 inch thick, or say 3/8 inch thick, then it would be double the 1/4 inch price. So it would be $200 per piece. And you see we have that 0.4 under pricing, or the fourth hash down. The above pricing is based on a 1/4 inch thick stainless steel grate. A 1/2 inch thick grate would be double the price. A 3/4 would be triple, and so on. We can do larger than 8. A 12-inch diameter or 12 by 12 square is $300. 8 by 8 to 12 inch is $150, and then above 12 to 16 or 16 by 16 square is $300 each. So it's pretty clear what the pricing is. There's no list, there's no discount. This is all net. Once we get the signed off drawing back in the PO, then we can cut these grates on our laser, and we have a brand new laser that we're just commissioning now. We've had on and off problems with our original laser, and we're very happy to get this new one going. We're within 5 days production time to cut these custom grates. We can do volume pricing. So if there's a demand for 5 or more of a replacement grate, we can do better than the $100 per grate. Contact your CSR, and then we'll give you a volume quote based on how many pieces are needed. So that is the information on the custom grates. You've got a nice drawing here, and then you've got the instructions and the pricing, which is right here. Again, if anyone needs this, please send me an email, and I'll email it to you right after we're done. The other thing I like to talk about today is the shift and lift. This is really getting a lot of interest. I know a lot of you have heard about this in the market, but I think it's worth talking about again. It's on page 230 of your MPB book. If you look at that book, you'll see the shift and lift. We put that in the new MPB 2015 drainage price book. The concept with this shift and lift, and I'll blow this detail up on the right-hand side here, is here's a good aerial view. So this is for a wall-hung toilet. We have a wall-hung toilet. Typically at the end of the toilet stall or at the end of the battery, the code says that the dimension must be so much between the wall, the finished wall, and the last toilet, the center of the toilet. In this example, we have 18 inches, see at the bottom, where it's roughed in at 17 inches. And the inspector comes along and says, you know, I've measured your toilet to the wall at 17 inches. It needs to be 18. Why? Because of ADA, to provide somebody with enough room to get on and off the toilet. So before the shift and lift, the contractor had a very, very expensive option to fix this problem, which was to remove the toilet, cut open into the wall and physically unbolt the legs and move the legs of the carrier, up a half inch, 3/4, 1 inch or more, depending on the situation, and then put it back in, refinish the wall, and so on. Very, very, very expensive and time consuming. The shift and lift, you see the bottom left-hand quarter, is an offset nipple and an offset stud kit. So the nipple and the studs are offset either half, 3/4, or 1 inch, depending on what somebody wants. The part numbers for those three are right here. You see we have the MC10 PN8R31 SL50 for the half inch, the 75 and the 100 for the 3/4 and the 1 inch. So we have three part numbers that are in the system. We have all these in stock in Chicago. In most markets, we're selling these for $75 net. Some markets are selling them for more than that, given the convenience that this offers the contractor when they're in this situation. Every contractor that I've shown this to on page 230 of the price book says that's a great idea, and I wish that I had known about this 5 months ago or 6 months ago when I was in this jam. It's not an everyday issue, but when it does happen, it's a real problem, and it's a great way for the contractor to use a MyFab product and have a great experience with it. This shift and lift is usable on any brand carrier because we're all standard at 9-inch centers between the studs so that a wall-hung toilet can mount onto the studs of the carrier. So it doesn't matter whether it's a Zurn, Smith, Wade, Josam, whatever, it can be used with any of those carriers. What you would do is remove the toilet, remove the straight nipple and the straight studs, screw in the offset nipple and studs from us, and then put the toilet back on. You can also raise or lower the toilet by either half, 3/4, or 1 if you needed to. So it gives you the option to not only go side to side, but up or down. A great thing to highlight to contractors. And we're working right now on a blister pack. You see the blister pack that we're showing there. This is getting close, and the idea is, let's see, we can move, yeah, there you go. So you see the little pegboard slots in the top left and top right corner. The idea is to make this in a shrink-wrapped form with a hard back to it. What you're seeing here does not have the graphics, so we're going to add the graphics to it to illustrate what this thing does, and then to offer this to wholesalers to put on their counter. So if anyone likes that idea and would like some of these, then please send me or send your regional an email, and it'd be good to start getting a count of who wants how many of these. So that is the end of the shift and lift. What I like to do is open it up to questions, and just give me 1 minute so I can try to get some assistance so I can open this up. Maybe I can figure it out here. Hold on. So give me 1 sec. I'll just put the phone down. I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to go live in a second here. Okay. Okay, I think we're wide open now. Any questions? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Any questions out there, folks?
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the offset made of?
The offset, which offset? The nipple or the studs?
The stud here and the nipple. The nipple especially.
Well, the nipple is ABS plastic, exactly the same as our standard ABS nipple. So it's no different in material than our standard nipple. It's just molded in an offset manner.
Okay, good.
Any other questions?
I just think the blister pack's a good idea because it's a point of purchase and needs to be on the counter to help move it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be a big thing. So it'd be good to know, would you like to have 10 of them, 20, 30? I mean, we need to get an idea.
That's a good question, yeah. How many to put in a package in a shipment?
Well, don't worry about that. Just think about how many separate blister pack samples like you're looking at right here you like to have, and then we'll worry about getting them to you. Just so we know how many to make. I mean, do we make 300 of these things, a 500, or what?
Michael, have we thought about a counter display for this?
We have thought of a counter display and have thought that would be too awkward, and we're better off going with a pegboard blister pack display like you see here on my screen, so that the wholesaler can actually put that onto pegboard holders on his wall, because typically they have more room on the wall than they do on the counter. And we're already asking them to put the MyGuard display on the counter and the Seaport display.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
what about
go ahead.
A counter mat? This is Robert Elliott. What about a counter mat? Because we've got so many of these unique items that you start handing out these catalogs, people can't remember everything you've got. So if we had a counter mat that kind of had all the interceptors and the MyGuard and everything that the guy could lay down on his counter, and he's standing there waiting and he's looking at this shift and lift and saying, hey, I could use that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think for something like the shift and lift, though, having this blister pack where you have the actual product with the pegboard holders on the wall, I mean, everyone's going to see it, and they're going to say, oh, gee, that's something that I could use. They will also see that the counter mat's a good idea, too, Robert. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think...
Remember, I think you're going to add graphics to that, too, a little bit. That'll get their attention.
Yeah, this what you're looking at here on my screen is missing the graphics. We're working on that now. But Robert, we'll take that good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I just don't see anybody putting those on the counter until they need it. It's going to be one of those things that, it's a good idea, but how many am I going to sell? And, when they need it, then they're going to order it.
Well, again, what you're looking at here on the screen is not going on the counter. It's going on the wall, on the pegboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a little bit, tends to be easier. Like the Bill Meany of Palmetto Parts, Robert, in South Carolina, he was all over this. He said, if you get me one of those, I'll absolutely put it on my pegboard. That's right up his alley. Now,
great, yeah.
Now, there'll be other wholesalers that are mainly new construction that, may be less interested, right?
Right.
It's going to be more the guys that are doing repair and service. But even the new construction guys, some of the bigger contractors I've shown this to, say, this can get us out of a jam, and this is a patented MyFab item now. So it's something unique to us. Any other questions?
What is it? Good.
Okay, I'll just, while we've got everybody here, any questions on the Little Max, the new plastic grease interceptors? Any issues or things to talk about regarding that? Okay, well, thank you everyone for your time. I hope that everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Take care.
Thank
you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.